We're now going to look at how you use the EYFS Tracker to produce a learning journey for sharing with parents, or obviously sharing with a child, or you can use it for your own records. So if we click on the learning journey option at the top, we can see some options down here. Now, we recently introduced a new version of the learning journey report, which allows you to export to Word, which a lot of our users have found really useful. So we generally recommend that you use this version of the report. So let's click on that. And now we see various options. So, firstly, I can see different children by changing these options up here. So I want to look at all teaching groups. And I'm going to look at a report for standard slash. You can report on more than one child at a time, but for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to select one child. So I've ticked standard slash here. Then I need to select a date range for the outcomes achieved. The way the learning journey works, it looks at the information you put in your evidence section in results. So if you've used the evidence section to upload photos or to make notes or to tick off individual early years outcomes, that information is the information that's going to appear in the learning journey. If all you've used the tracker for is to do your overall age stage assessment, your 30 to 50 month, for example, you're not going to be able to have the information for the learning journey. But if you have put extra information in, then this is a really powerful way of getting more value from that, from those attachments that you've uploaded and the notes you've made. So to choose this start and end date, it's just going to show me the early years outcomes that have been ticked off in this date range. So I'm looking at the last 12 months. I've then got various other options. So I can add a title or a logo page. You can add a logo for your school or setting in the My Account page, which is available at the top of the section. You've got other options, what you want to show in the learning journey. So do you want to show images, which often people want to include the images in the learning journey report? Do you want to show the notes that you've made against the early years outcome observations? And do you want to show the next steps? So the next steps you can add in the My Children or the results section. If you've entered information on next steps, then you can include that in the report as well. You've got two other options which by default aren't ticked. So do you want to use full-size photos instead of thumbnails? So normally when you run the report, the photos will be quite small. If you want to show full-size photos, you can select that option. And finally, you can choose whether you want to show your observations of characteristics of effective learning. So again, if you've done that, if you've made your observations on that, you can choose whether you want to share that level of information with parents. So I'll leave that unticked for the time being. And then you've got a few more options down here, so you can change the title. So I'm currently leaving it as, calling it as a learning journey. And if I want to, I can put an introductory paragraph for the report. So I might say, let's say, here is a list of the things that children have done in the last 12 months. Something more interesting than that, but some title which will, or introductory paragraph that will appear at the start of the report. And then finally, if you want to, you can focus on particular aspects. So you could say, I just want to run a report for a particular area of learning, or let's say I just wanted to do a literacy focused report. I could say, well, actually, we've done lots of work on reading this year. I want to run a report just for reading. So you'd untick the things that you want to show here. I'm going to run the report for all of the different areas of learning. So once I've selected all my options down here, I then click on the green preview and export button. And that brings the report here. And there's my introductory sentence. There's the next steps that we've entered. And if I was to scroll down further, I get for each aspect, this is the early years outcome, so that's the DFE guidance. And underneath was a particular note that I made, and it also shows the date that I ticked that off. If I scroll down a bit further, I get the image that I uploaded against that particular early years outcome. So images are a great way of evidencing impact and the work that you've done to Ofsted, but also it's great that you can also export them in the reports that you then share with parents. So this is our report, and that's the preview of the first page of it. Obviously, I want to be able to share that information. So I've got my two options here. I can either export as a PDF or export as a Word document. If I export as a PDF, I can't edit it. If I export as a Word document, I can, and a lot of our users like to be able to export it as a Word document, because sometimes they might want to add information or edit it after they've exported it. So those are your two options. Once you've exported it, you can then obviously save it for your own records. You can print it out, or equally you can email it to parents or share with them on a parents' evening.